Look, would you close the door? Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 1311 of What You Up To Now, documenting the journey as I transition from originally the brick and mortar corporate world of business to the online business. And then in 2020, a crazy chaotic year that was, and 2021, a little bit back into the offline world, working a lot with offline businesses in, of course, 2020 and 2021, and well, prior to that as well, to create an online presence. And it became critical. It became mission critical for every business to have an online presence in 2020. If you were squeaking by and not having one, and I'm guilty of that. In my past business, I had an Italian food manufacturing business for over 35 years, and in that we were not really online. I think we had a Facebook page that we never went to, which wouldn't even count for social media. And once in a while we sold on different platforms, dabbled a little bit, but never really had an online presence at all. Never had a website, never had anything like that for the business, because we were 100% business to business sales and word of mouth, and had established a good business after 35 years and didn't need to have an online presence, although I'm sure it would have helped to supersize and grow that business significantly. So that's the purpose of this, is just to share what I'm learning as I figure out the online world, what's working, what doesn't work, good, the bad, the ugly, everything in between. Always welcome to ask. You're always welcome to ask and say, hey, have you ever done this? I'm struggling with that. You know, I've done over 1,300 videos about this journey. So in there somewhere, I've probably talked about it, but that's a lot of stuff to have to dig through, and I don't want you to have to dig through it, so just ask. It's a lot quicker and easier to ask. And asking the question helps other people too, because then they get the answer to the question. And chances are, if you have the question, there's probably 100,000 other people on the planet that have the exact same question. So, what am I doing? Get Up and Go Challenge finished up yesterday, the 8th free 30-plus day Get Up and Go Challenge, which was kind of my response to the pandemic. What are you going to do? Well, we got to keep getting up and going and figuring out what we're going to do, even though everything changed in a very, very short amount of time. It's kind of like getting a health diagnosis or some kind of a diagnosis and finding out that you've got a major health challenge or you've got something going on. You have to change almost instantly. You have to make up your mind and do things differently and think differently and see things differently almost immediately in order to deal with that particular challenge or change that happens in your life. And so that's what the whole Get Up and Go Challenge is about. It's about teaching folks, including myself, and reinforcing for myself something called the SOAP framework, SOAP, which stands for Story, Options, Action, and Progress, which isn't, none of them are big words, none of them are hard to define, none of them are hard to understand, but just because we know what a word means and what a word means to us doesn't mean we are applying it and using it in our life. Think of the words, and the words we choose really matter. And I've believed that and thought that for a really long time, but just this last year really started exploring it on purpose in terms of communication. What does it mean? How do we do it better? And I know that there's light years of improvement that I personally have to make with respect to communication. And that's one of the reasons I'm interested in studying it and learning and getting to know more about it. So, still sharing the Supersize Your Business idiom every day, and we're doing our annual challenge is to get to know ourselves better, to get to know what's most important to us through a little journal book called Do One Thing Every Day That Centers You. And today was day 244, and it's about the good life. And what is our good life inspired by? Well, it's inspired by love, and it's guided by knowledge. So that's a two-part saying that we'll be exploring today and tomorrow, and sharing, you know, how did love inspire me today? How did love inspire me to live a better life today? How did love inspire me to create the life I want today? Things like that we share with one another. And our Supersize Your Business idiom today was, when one door closes, another door opens. So I say, close the door. Close the door, because nothing happens until a change or a challenge is upon us, and we need to make a decision, make a choice. Nothing happens until we choose or make a decision. And just the choosing doesn't make anything happen. It's we make a choice or a decision, and then we have to follow that up with action that supports that decision or that choice. So if we decide we're going to grow and build and supersize our business, we can decide that over and over again every day, but if we're not doing anything or taking any action or any steps to make that happen, guess what? Our business is going to stay the exact same way it's always been. If our relationship, if we want to change our relationship because it's not serving us, it's actually harming us in any way, shape, or form, nothing is going to happen until we make a decision to change that relationship. Well, some people make a decision that they're just going to cheat and they're going to have someone on the side. They don't close the door on their current relationship before they start another one. There's a whole lot of that goes on in the world. Obviously, you can tell by the tone of my voice, I don't agree with that behavior. I say close the door, then go find your next person. And that's a nice clean break and a cleaner cut. But again, we all choose and we all do what we think is best for us at any given moment. And some people don't feel like they're strong enough to do that. They feel like they have to always have someone that is with them. I don't get that. I'm not a lone wolf, but I am perfectly content being responsible for myself and doing things on my own. So how about you? How do you feel about the idiom and the expression, when one door closes, another door opens? I think we all got practice with this in 2020, and we're continuing to practice it in 2021. What are we going to accept and tolerate, and what are we going to say no to? What paths are we going to choose to make our life go the direction we want it to go, not what other people try to dictate the direction our life should go in their opinion? Because it doesn't matter what other people think. It matters what you think. It matters what I think. And it matters what we want to create in our lives. So, Get Up and Go Challenge, done. We'll take the month of September off. Some months I do something every day to kind of keep my flow and momentum going. September, I've got other projects that I'm working on, so I'm actually going to take the month off from my challenge, or sharing something every day, like some wisdom or something positive. I'm kind of doing that through the Supersize Your Business Challenge. I was going to continue to do, when I looked up and to coincide with and to go along with the Get Up and Go Challenge, I thought, well, I'm going to pick an idiom or that means or has something to do with changes or challenges or setbacks or obstacles or whatever you call them, problems. And I'm going to do that as the idiom every day for Supersize Your Business. And that worked pretty well, I think, for going through the month of August with the Get Up and Go Challenge simultaneously. Just reinforce thinking and ideas about changes and challenges and looking for the positives in them, and using the SOAP framework to manage that and install it in our subconscious so it becomes as easy as breathing. But I realized as I was going into September, I originally thought, well, maybe I'll just keep going, because when I looked up idioms on that topic, I got, probably 80, which is way more than just 1 month's worth. And so I picked and chose as I went through the challenge and did 31 of them. And as I looked at the list yesterday, all that was left are what I consider really downer, really negative ways of looking at things. And I was like, no, I don't want to spend the month of September looking at negative idioms and flipping them around so that they're positive, so that we see the upside of the coin, not the downside of the coin. So I decided I'm going to seek out and find positive, optimistic idioms for the month of September. Now, my first search only gave me 10, or I think 10. And I'm like, all right, so I can find 20,000 idioms that are negative, and 5,000, because there's 25,000 idioms in English, 5,000 that are maybe positive. So it still gives me plenty to choose from. But I laugh, because when I look up something negative or that has a negative connotation, I get tons of results. When I look up something positive, I get, a tenth of those results maybe. It's just, it's really interesting. The same is true in our vocabulary. If you've ever looked at our vocabulary and our way of describing things, when you look at emotions, just look at emotions, for example, you will get like a 1-to-4 ratio of positive sounding terms to negative. If you go through the dictionary, same thing. Why do we have so many ways of describing things that are negative? Well, I like to think of it from the positive perspective of, if we have more ways of describing something negative, then some feel worse or stronger to us and more negative than others. And if we're just reaching for a less negative, a less strong feeling negative term, that is moving us in the right direction. I think it would be probably better for the universe if we had a lot more positive words and positive outlooks and positive ways of describing things, because we'd be focusing on those aspects of our life than negative. But you know, the world has created this for this time period for a reason. I'm not even going to pretend I know the absolute reason for that, but I think because negativity is used to drive people's behavior, pain and suffering is used to drive people's choices and behavior and decisions. And so since it's a powerful motivator for human beings, other people like to use it to push other people's buttons and to control things. So when one door opens, another door closes. Month of September, we'll focus on what I consider positive idioms. Now, I might share one that you might consider negative. You might think that when one door closes, another door opens is a negative because you're focusing on the front end, the loss, the letting go of, the closing the door, versus just the transition and the transformation to something else, another opportunity. I like to look at, hey, this happened, what's up? This happened, what's next? This happened, what are we going to do about it? Was I always that way? Heck no. I remember decades of my life that I was pushing against change, that I was fighting change, that I was wanting things to be the status quo, that I wanted to control things. And that didn't work out very well for me. It actually led to a very stressful, very unfulfilled, very sad portion of my life. And it should have been the best time of my life. And I was missing out on it because I was so stressed out on other things that really weren't even of the highest priority to me. They were important to other people, but I was adopting other people's ideas of what I should do, not really listening to the voice in my own head and my gut and my heart that was screaming, you are going down the wrong road. And it wasn't until I had a massive health challenge that I realized that it was imperative that I change my road, that I changed the way I was thinking, that I changed what I was doing, that I changed a whole lot of things in my life. And ever since then, life has gone a lot more peacefully, a lot less stressfully, and a lot more in the direction that I wanted it to go. I only wish I had, discovered my own personal power sooner, is, I guess, if I have any regrets in life. It's that, we do the best we can with what we've got at the time. We always wish, or I think most people wish, I always wish I would have known more when I was a mom and that I would have been a better mom. Now, my kids think I was a good mom, but I think back on the mistakes I made, and they're not huge, life-changing, life-threatening mistakes, but, maybe I would have said things differently or handled different situations differently, and disappointments in the kids' life. Maybe I would have handled those better if I didn't have my own junk going on. So, lessons learned, life lessons learned, and hopefully we're all continuously improving, learning, and growing all the time. So I'm off on a tangent. Positive September, supersize your business idioms. The Get Up and Go challenge, we're going to keep, not Get Up and Go. Get Up and Go is done for the month. We'll pick that up again in October. I'll take a month off, then we'll do October. Probably skip November and then do it again in December. I want to finish the year off doing, let's see, February, April, August. We'll do it 5 times again this year. We did it 5 times last year. We did it 6 times last year. And then 6 30-day plus, and then there were a few shorter ones in there as well. But so let's say I want to do it at least 5 times this year as well, just because it feels like the right way to give back, to share something that I know can absolutely positively impact people's lives if they so choose. People ask me often, well, why do you do 30 days? You could do a 5-day challenge and then sell people into a 30-day program. And I'm like, because I don't want to. I want to use this as my way to help and make the world a better place and give back to people. I don't want to charge people to do something for their life that they should and could probably be doing already. They just don't know they could. So if I can provide a simple way of doing this to make it as easy as breathing for people to deal with challenges and changes, I feel like I owe it to the world that I need to do that. So what is it that you need to do? What door is it that you need to close in order to open up another door so that you can show up and be who you really are? Up until my sudden cardiac arrest, I had a sudden cardiac arrest in 2010. Up until that point, and it's almost a clear delineation in my life and in the sand. If I look at my lifeline exercise, and I'm still the same person, I'm still always been the same person, but what showed up of me up until 2010 versus after 2010, how I show up and who I am is 100% absolutely me. You might not like it, you might not agree with it, you might think I'm crazy and that what I say is just all off in la la land, but it's the things I believe in, and just like everybody else, I get to express my opinion. I get to share the things I believe in to attract the people that are like me or that agree or want to create the life that they want and want to be themselves doing it, or the people that want to continue to pretend and wear the masks and the ego and the everything else that goes along with it and live the lives that they think other people think they should live instead of living their own life. That's a clear delineation of who I was before and what percentage of me showed up in different environments and different situations versus now it's just me. And sometimes I'll say something that will irritate people. Sometimes I'll say something that people agree with. It doesn't really matter. It's just me saying what things mean to me. It's up to you to decide what things mean to you. All right, go out, have an awesome day. If I can help you in any way, ask. Otherwise, I am going forward on some projects that I've been neglecting last month due to the Get Up and Go Challenge and hanging out with my amazing little granddaughter who started school this week, and I really, really miss her. I miss her energy, I miss her light, I miss her love, and it's still there. It's just directed towards school, and I hope she thoroughly enjoys it and that she gets everything she can possibly get out of her education. Nowadays, and always, it's always been that way, we get out of things what we put into them. So I hope that she puts herself into it and she gets in return the things that help to grow and nurture and make her a great little human being. All right, have an awesome day. I will be with you tomorrow.